Today, the pilot for the Gaslight District released on Glitch Productions' YouTube channel. Within this video, I'll be summarizing what happened in the episode and I will give my thoughts at the end. We start off with the narrator introducing us to the world that the show is set in. People in this world seem to live forever and don't have to worry about dying of natural causes. The narrator also tells us that these immortal beings are still scared of one thing, and that is humans whose blood is black, as opposed to everyone else's purple blood. They believe that humans are born from the angel's egg. We then get shown an action-packed scene of the gang, who call themselves the Smiling Dead, hunting down a man called Jack. We soon find out that Jack is running away from the gang because he found out that Mel has black blood, meaning that she is a human. He wanted to spread the word, which is why he is being silenced. After the car that Jack is driving crashes, we see Breadhead crush Jack with one hand. This clearly establishes to us that he is the powerhouse of the group. We then cut to the Whale Belly Butcher Shop, which is the restaurant that Ken owns. Mel is helping out by serving food, Breadhead is playing the piano, and Mud is the cashier. Ken mentions how he doesn't think Mel should ever be a part of the gang, most likely due to the fear of her getting hurt. However, Mel has other plans, as she presents a job to the gang that is almost too good to be true. Due to Ken being the only one who knows Mel as a human, he does not like the idea, as Mel could get seriously hurt or worse. However, after looking at the plan more thoroughly, he decides to go along with it, on the condition that Mel stays with him at all times. At the start of the mission, we see a border inspection carried out by someone called Diligence. After a thorough inspection, they find nothing and allow them to pass through the border. Everyone then mans their stations, Breadhead taking care of the Angel Crows, Mud taking control of the security room, and finally Ken and Mel can focus on retrieving the egg. Ken then tells Mel that he needs to make a quick pit stop, but to not go up the stairway to heaven until he is ready. Mel approaches the stairway to heaven while Ken beats someone called Temperance to death. Meanwhile, Mel soon finds out that she has gone too far and comes across the Mother Angel. Mel stabs the Mother Angel in the head before taking the egg and running. Once returning to the group, Ken seems hurt that she would go on without him and break her promise. The gang then get away on the getaway vehicle and head back to the Gaslight District. Mel passes out and Ken promises to himself that Mel will never end up like any of the gang members. Once they are back at the Gaslight District, they stand in the middle of the town with the newly captured egg, and they go to destroy it. However, the egg starts to crack. Eventually, it hatches into an angel crow, not a human. Everyone watching calls them out for their lies, and that is how the episode ends. Overall, I think this show is the best pilot that Glitch Productions has released yet. I really like all of the characters, the animation style is charming, and the voice actors did a really good job with all of their characters. Something that I really liked about this pilot is that while the frames per second in the animation is quite low compared to something like The Amazing Digital Circus, the fluidity of the animation is still very impressive. Every frame felt carefully planned and worked on. I liked that Mel is a character that has to fight a problem that is inevitable, instead of having a protagonist that has a blank slate off of the get-go. Ken is also a great character, being the voice of reason while still having his own flaws like his anger issues. Breadhead being a dumb powerhouse character is quite cliche, however I think he is well written, and Gianni Matrigrano did an amazing job with his character. Mud is definitely a charismatic person who is supposed to be a lot of the comic relief in the show, and I think he does a good job at doing so. His scene where he shoots Jack in the head with the sniper, and where he takes over the security room are both really good. Now that I have said what I like, what do I dislike about the pilot? Well, I do think it was a bit too fast-paced for my liking. The story itself was good and the premise wasn't too hard to follow. However, there was a lot of cutting from one location to another with no sort of transition or montage. The story moved extremely quickly and I hope that this doesn't become a pattern in the series. Secondly, I think that there were supposed to be a couple of moments in the pilot that were supposed to tug at the heartstrings of the viewer, but due to the tone of the show and the characters, I never really felt sad or empathetic at any point. Other than that though, I really liked this pilot. The only theory that I have for this pilot is when Ken was fighting Temperance. I believe that because Temperance seems to be some kind of doctor, he was the one that created Mel, or he was the one who passed Mel on to Ken, as we hear him say that he didn't tell anyone.
I've never spoken a word, any of it, to anyone!
Overall, I would give this pilot an 8.9 out of 10. This may change as the series goes on, but as it stands, even though it was a fast-paced show, the pilot is in my opinion better than any pilot Glitch Productions has ever released. Please let me know all of your thoughts about this pilot in the comments, as I would love to see what you think. Thanks.